Let's see if it will actually let us in here,
It
Trina.
says got it.
It says, got it. I got it. You got it. I got it. So we got it.
We got it.
I'm sure that everybody else will get it. And there I can see it coming up now. So
Okay.
welcome everybody. Salutations. Happy New Year. Hope it was a good one and that you are looking forward to this new year because Trina, we're in the new year. So welcome, Trina. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm so wonderful. Happy New Year, everybody. Much
It's
love and favor,
so
and may it
good to
be the best year ever.
yeah, I think it is. And finally got everything. One of us is live on here, and the other one is
We're
there we
live.
go. Yeah,
As
we
you
are. I
guys
think it
know.
is.
Yeah, there we go. Here comes
There we go.
Chad. Hi,
Yeah.
everybody.
Hey, everybody. So to speak in favor over us all, nothing missing, nothing broken. Abacadabra, we do create what we speak. And Bosto, everyone. So good to have you here. We're honored. It is just a energizing time for Trina and I. So welcome. That's all I can say. And we are prospering. But yeah. Yesterday was a holiday. So Trina, it's good to see you. I'll stop talking. How was your New Year's?
That was so much fun. It was ridiculous. It was such a good time.
We're telling me, Kent, good to see you. Deborah, everyone's coming in here. Lady of the Lake. I love that. Lady of the Lake.
Yeah, we
That's
manifested a wonderful New Year's, and that was the intention, was to
excellent.
bring in people we've never met before and just have a fabulous connection and good time. And wow, did we manifest that? We it was so much fun. So much fun.
When did you get to bed?
About three.
Oh, that's reasonable.
Yeah,
I
not too
guess.
bad. And thank God the hotel was 5 minutes from the destination. So that was great. I was like, this is
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, that
Yeah.
helps quite a bit, no doubt.
Oh, it's nice. Yes, it was wonderful. We went to Tombstone, Arizona. What a fun little place. Oh my gosh.
Love the
It was
movie.
it was
Hey, Marie.
wonderful. I
Mary, how are
hadn't
you
been there since
doing?
I was like 10 years old, Wayne.
I'm hearing the line going off in my head, was why Johnny Ringo, you look like
Yeah,
someone just walked over your grave.
absolutely. I'll be your huckleberry.
Exactly. Hello. To Mr. Jeffrey Doherty, we love you.
Hi.
Cal Perkins, good to see you. Chloe, hi, my dear. Mr. Floyd, sneaking a watch till my 9 to 5. Well, I think
Mm.
there was a song like that, 9 to 5.
Yes, there is Dolly Parton.
I believe so. Yeah. So here we are in 2003 and
23.
23. Yeah. Boy, that was
Oh,
going back. Yeah, that's going to go
yeah,
well.
it's like
Yeah,
you're
actually,
told.
we did this. So I wrote in this because it dawned on me, really been working as you and I were talking before we went live with a lot of the craft. I mean, what they would call doing spells. Um, And as I'm meditating, it suddenly dawned on me that the uniqueness of this realm is that everything is circular, everything.
Mhm.
In fact, the trap of this realm is the fact that no matter how you look at it, we walk in circles. And we
Yeah.
we we measure this by dividing a year up 360 so-called days, but even that is a circle around a rotation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything
So
is a wheel.
yeah, Gogo, how you doing? Huh?
Yeah. Everything
Yeah.
is a wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. Yeah. It's interesting, and I don't
It's
know. A
very-
circle can be both dynamic and at the same time static. So I
Yeah,
get
and
that.
the part about that makes sense to me so much is when I think about that concept, it literally takes me into our cells. And I see a
Yeah.
cell, and that's
Yeah.
the cell, that's the separation. The membrane is a
Mm-hmm.
separation from that which you truly are, and you take on a cell to have this experience of separation.
Queen of Swords, good to see you.
Hi,
Yeah,
everybody.
when you look at it in even in this Milky Way, well,
Mhm.
I guess you could say, yeah, the grand procession, 26,400 plus years, give or take. Um, but that's nothing but a huge cycle,
Yes.
and that's circular.
A wheel within a wheel within a wheel.
So then that, as I was meditating, I started writing this down, and I said, well, then the next thing I'm thinking about is time. We think time is linear, but if we exist in a circular reality, how can time not be but a circle as well?
I think it is.
Exactly. I mean, it's
That's
the
why when
philosophy.
we
Go
look
ahead.
at time, we can measure cycle events. Cycles or circles.
Yeah, I think time is more of a signpost,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's a way to mark events so we can have a concept of time. Without those events as markers, we wouldn't have you. I don't think we could measure it. It would all just be happening now.
Okay. So I saw someone in the chat room, Bonnie, and I understand you're going before a court today. She wants everyone to say that Bonnie wins. And Bonnie, it's very interesting because so I've really been working with a lot of different, and I've ordered a bunch of my wife said, what? I've gone out there and really invested in these very rare, exotic incenses because it's powerful magic. It really is. And you combine that with candles. But my point, Bonnie, is that there is a specific incense that you can use prior to going into trial.
Yep.
So and she's going, well, what is it? Well, I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, look it up.
But I do know it's in the book. Yeah, and it is in the book of incense and spells. So yeah. So Bonnie, we just saying you kick ass. That's all. You're gonna do okay. Loretta, good to see you, hon. And by the way, I know I owe people emails, but Trina, I've just spent the last, I don't know, 3+ maybe 4 days just parting myself from the technology and just really getting into this. Some people say, well, working, casting spells. I kind of look at it like a chemistry class. I mean, I keep my notes because, you're working with incenses and there's just so many. I've got this one on Saturday, and it's amazing what you can do with this stuff. And when you mix it in with a little bit of faith, which is the true magical elixir, it's your faith.
It's
I
all,
mean,
you
mix
can't
that in
believe
there.
it. You can't manifest it.
Yeah.
It's
And
it's so funny. Everybody does magic every day and they don't even realize
every
it.
day they do.
We're always creating what we want. A lot of people are working on manifesting their dreams, self-help books, The Secret. All these things that's what we do. We do it regardless of whether we're aware of it or not. So whether you're consciously manifesting your world or you're allowing the world to manifest it for you, that's the only thing that's the difference. Some people actually are participating creatively in their own journey, while others are just kind of on automatic pilot, letting the world run them.
So I have been working with a lot of different herbs and found this one, mugwort. It's wow. And if you're looking for prosperity, looking to have that positiveness, I found out something else about bay leaves. I cook with it all the time, but I did not realize what happens when you actually begin to use it. This one I found, it's interesting because I have these spells, right? And I have a specific goal in mind. So have you ever worked with lotus flower? I mean, this is an amazing.
I love lotus flower. That's one of my most favorites.
Yeah, it's and so cloves, lavender, worked with sage. Many of us are familiar with. So,
and I love sandalwood, frankincense, and myrrh. Mm.
That's over on the incense side. And yeah, it's been
I like
interesting.
dragon's blood too. Dragon's blood.
Ordered
Mm.
some of that, got several different kinds. So
Uh-huh. I like
yeah.
the one that's got the sweeter smell to it. Yeah, I
Um,
love that stuff. I've
yeah,
loved incense my whole life. So I've always, I used to go to a store when I was a kid and I'd buy, they would make handmade perfume oils for you. So I would go there and make my perfumes and I love the incense. I've been doing it since I was in sixth grade. I love it.
yeah.
Hmm.
Julie, I didn't know that you had changed your handle. Good to see you. She's now Lady of the Lake. I like that. Robert V is in the house. How you doing, brother? Yeah, I mean, it is interesting, when you combine this is what I have found particularly interesting working with candles. Who would have ever thought? But we have it all in our lives, whether it's, the 4th of July or whether it's a birthday, it's a celebration, candles play such a vital role. It's quite unique to see how the occult is everywhere, but most people can't see it
Yeah.
being there. They can't see it.
The biggest one is the programs on I'm going to tell you a vision and you're going to see my vision. And then you're going to run my program because
Hmm.
I put the vision in your head. So now my vision that I want you to project and create into this world has now become your vision because you've allowed it to be your program. So
Yeah.
we're being programmed at the highest levels through magical principles and powers, but 90% of the world does not have any idea
Have
that that's
none at all.
no idea.
Robert, is
But
it
it's
still
all
cold up
working.
there? Someone said, keep cold, keep warm. It's 70
Mhm.
degrees here right now. So
Oh wow.
yeah, I've been out working all morning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful here.
John's,
I don't know how hot though.
is it warm there?
I think it's gonna be today. We're warming
Okay.
up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, wow. Feels like April.
They
Let's see. I
said you
think
guys were gonna get a heat wave. I was like,
I
wow,
think we
after that
did. And
cold.
I
Yeah.
was I was out there working in the on the property. But
Mhm.
so many people. I just want to say I saw Street Mom Brenda. How are you doing, dear? Good to see you. All of you good to join us. Sean, good to see you. So
Love
Trina, I have just been finding this craft, and this is what it is. The candle is the interesting thing. And now that I know how to dress a candle, the other aspect learning in this is that it's also you have to literally um, get a tool. It can be any type. In fact, even if you have like one of these stick pins,
Mhm.
this works very well because you have to carve into the wax your intentions.
Mhm.
And as you carve this in, and I'm just telling everyone in a later episode, because got a lot of people want to do it, and I'm going to do it. So then when you work with the different oils and this one I love, the art of the root. It's one of the, I have found them to have, it's charged, it's really works well. So my point is, Miss Trina, is that this stuff works. That's all
Of
I can
course it
tell
does.
you. It works. And
It has to. It has to. There's no other option. It's a
yeah.
frequency. It's a frequency. We create with sound. A sound frequency. That's what it does. And it's so funny. The flame, the fire, the candle.
Hmm.
That is so it's again, it's another imitation in this world that represents what you actually are. That's why it's usually always part of ritual,
Hmm.
always
Yeah.
candles, because it
Powerful.
represents your eternal flame. It represents you as the spark, the divine spark. That's what that is. So you're basically saying, I'm now connecting to my divinity. That's basically what that is. And the activation of fire, that's you. You're fire first. Everything
It's
else is
definitely Divine Empress. Good to see you. That's what's so interesting is, if you use a candle in meditation, It is very interesting, and I had forgotten this, but you get your reorientation,
Yeah.
how a flame is more than just a flame. It's
Yeah.
amazing when you get into it.
Yes.
It is, and in my opinion, I think many types of different dimensions, and yeah, it works. That's all I know. It works,
Yes. Yes.
or
That's
at
how
least it seems to
powerful
be.
we are. Wayne, we are that powerful. This is what they do not want people to know. This
Yeah.
isn't, this is all of us have the capabilities to manifest.
Mhm.
And we all do it every day. It's the way it works. But most of the time we don't know how to do it. So it's being done by default and by programs.
I
And
have
just
a
programs. Mhm.
individual who I know and been in touch with, and he actually is a professional poker player, has
Uh-huh.
been in the World Series of Poker
Mhm.
many times. And it's interesting because that is something he attributes his luck to, is he actually encompasses that energy, that power, calls upon those deities that are over those realms, and luck, as I am finding out, there is a certain thing with people who have an abundance of what we would call natural good luck. Um, then there are those who seem to have the uncanny luck, that they're more than just lucky. It seems like they're either something is shining on them or whatever. And this individual uses two things. I was surprised because he many times travels in hotels and what have you.
Mhm.
So you can't have smoke in there, but he uses candles along with certain incenses, because it doesn't take much. It takes just a
Right.
little tiny bit.
Right.
But yeah, he contributes that it's helped him make millions of dollars.
It's
So is he cheating or not? I don't think he's cheating at
no,
all. No, it's a game
no,
of
no.
chance. You know,
No, it's not cheating when you understand how to control the world.
exactly.
Why is that? Why is that
Yeah.
cheating? You're supposed to learn that you are a creator in this realm. That's why you came here, is to remember what you can do and who you are. I think that's 90% of why we're incarnating now, is to remember what we are. And that's
Yeah.
far beyond a physical body. It's connected to the things that are eternal. And those are rays of light, code, frequency. So you're literally opening up your antenna and connecting to that which what you want to connect to intentionally. You're intentionally saying, I wish to receive this frequency, this expression of light in my reality. And I'm going to connect to that, and I'm going to see it, and I'm going to manifest it in my world. And
Well,
it's
what
not.
he wrote me was that here's his belief, and I like it. I've been testing it myself.
Mhm.
Um, in in the realm of probabilities, there is unlimited potentiality within every possibility. So if you, for instance, are in a game of poker, which is basically, it's a game of chance, no different than a lottery or slot machines or whatever. And I'm not advocating gambling. I'm just simply saying that if you invoke luck, you have to have some way to test it.
Mhm.
Now, this is what his belief is, that when you are sitting at a table and you have maybe five other energies, all of them want the same thing. They want to win.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Mhm.
But anyone who's ever played poker can tell you there is an uncanny thing that happens, because there's certain people who seem to always get that hand when it's really a big pot, or whatever. They always seem to do it. It always comes to them. Now, his belief is by using magic, by invoking those spirits that are over, number one, wealth, number one, good fortune, timing, in the laws of probability, he feels that he can be that energy that the cards themselves, while they're being dealt, will actually rearrange themselves in such a way that when the hand is dealt, he is going to be the recipient.
Absolutely.
That's powerful.
I think he's right.
Well,
Absolutely.
he's a multimillionaire, so I
Yeah,
would say that I
magicians
think,
do it all the time. They can change the card in front of your eyes. It's
yeah.
so
Well,
weird.
this is not cheating though. He's not doing
No,
that. No,
no,
he's
no, not
playing it
cheating at all.
legit. So
Right.
yeah,
No, I'm just
yeah.
saying with magic, magicians, that's the
Hmm.
best place to see that the perfection of magic is a magician. They've intentionally learned how to create different responses out of the environment that aren't typically physically law applied. Like the physics don't work for that. Like people levitating and all this stuff. It blows
Well,
physics.
and to get magicians, I think there's two different points of view. Magician also in our culture means trickery, means
Well,
to
of course,
deceive.
yeah. It can, yeah.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
that's not what I'm talking. I think what we're
Right,
making
right. But
reference
then
here.
you
This
have the
is
magi, and the magi are the
there
ones
is
with
an
the money.
art. Yeah,
Yeah,
there is an art to the craft. Now, if
yeah.
you study what the sleight of hand, being able to trick, Houdini is one that back in the day, back when I was 18, went to a prom. I never graduated high school, but I've been to like 3 proms. Anyway, we were we were staying at this hotel, and uh, there was this guy that was performing that night in some theater, but he was a magician, and his thing, what he crafted his whole life, he said, after Houdini. And so we were up there at the swimming pool, and I think we were at a Holiday Inn, if I remember correctly. So he got in, and I actually helped when they put the rod through the mailbag. He had his hands handcuffed. He was in a straitjacket, and then they put him in a mail bag and another bag, and then sealed all that up with locks. And it was, and I watched them when they pushed him into the pool. And it was remarkable to me to see it took about well over a minute, but he came up and he was out of all of that. That to me it may be entertaining, but there is a lot of magic unfolding right there.
Oh, big time.
Have you ever? Yeah, it's just amazing.
It is amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Yes. Like I said, these things are real and they are obtainable. They
Yeah,
really are.
yeah.
They really, really, really are. We like I said, we do it all the time on small levels without even knowing it. So that, like I said, the magicians, for good or for trickery, because there's going to be everything in the same thing. Always, you're going to have the negative and the positive. You're going to have it all and everything in
Yeah,
between.
I thought
That's
Sigfoy and Roy, someone was saying that
Mhm.
they were magicians. Yeah,
I think so too.
yeah, I went to their show a couple of times. Quite amazing. I'm like, how did you do that?
Absolutely.
with
Yeah.
particularly those big cats. I mean, like one of them ate them, I think. So
Eventually, yeah.
eventually, but anyway, it's
Boy, howdy.
interesting when you look at the craft of this, because it's when I was talking about last week. Did you see when I was talking about Queen Elizabeth the First?
Hmm.
That she was not a she was a he.
I,
Her Yeah,
I
her
always
real
wondered
name
that,
was
Wayne. I
Neville.
always wondered that.
Yeah, well, and
Yeah.
there were some things I didn't realize, but Lynn and I were having dinner, and I actually went out and started drawing this, and I said I was talking to her about Queen Elizabeth, and I said, so here this thing is, the king's daughter dies, Henry's eighth daughter dies. He thinks that she's still alive. So we have this imposter now that is playing out history in a way that is remarkable. So when he became queen, here's the interesting thing. So whose official position in her court was? The official seer?
Who?
John Dee.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yep.
So, and I've done many shows on John Dee. He, in my opinion, I think he was the last true magi. He had the books, he had the knowledge. We know that they purposely burned his library. There were some books that actually made it out. But what was interesting, so you have Neville, which is Queen Elizabeth. Then you have John Dee over here. And then you have, of all places coming in, Francis Bacon.
Yeah.
Now, why does Francis Bacon plays a huge role? Because it was through Bacon, and I believe it was through his, it shows that he knew John Dee, which tells me that he had to been involved. And so here we have the King James. When James comes along, who does he give this new revised history called the Bible? It's the King James Bible. By the way, it's the only authorized version of God's word. Gives it to Francis Bacon.
Yep.
And then at the bottom of this pentacle, you have Shakespeare.
Yes.
And if you read the New Testament reads like a Shakespearean play. Yep. It has all the characters, all the dynamics. And so I was telling Lynn, I said, honey, our reality today, the United States, what we call democracies, in our economic trade, a lot of that came through the reform of Queen Elizabeth, who was, for all intents and purposes, a true drag queen. Mm-hmm. That's just mind-blowing. I mean, you think about it, and it fashioned, Trina, our whole, it's what you and I and everyone in this chat room listening to us, it's everything that we have perceived reality to be.
This is, I can't even believe this has come up, because this has been on my mind for like 2 days now. This is pure speculation, role playing, and just, I don't know. I want to know, but I don't know. I've been getting imposture information for 3 days. The imposture. Mm-hmm. And I'm working with a new client, and she's had an imposter that was pretending to be Jesus. And there's people that have had imposters pretending to be Archangel Michael, and imposters pretending to be Saint Germain. This is coming up a lot for me lately with people. I'm seeing a real trend of it. But people are starting to identify the imposters, just like, you identified that we could be looking at an imposter with the queen thing.
Yeah.
Important that's coming up with this now, guys. So deception obviously is a lot more broader than we've ever imagined it to be.
True. I mean, the thing with the angels and the thing with Saint Germain and with Jesus, mm-hmm. It's odd because I was having this conversation, and Lynn and I was with some friends, and they asked, and the challenge was, all right, so who is Jesus? If he is the fulfillment of Jewish prophecy, then that would put the Jewish religion basically at an end, and we know that's not the case. But more importantly, who is the Father?
Mm-hmm. Because, I've been thinking about that a lot lately too.
I mean, the Father, it's not Hebraic, it's not Judaism, it's certainly is not Islamic.
What if it's Greek?
The only place it could be is Greek, because that was Zeus's name. Zeus was known as the Father.
This is another thing. I can't believe get out of my head.
But I like it here.
Look what I just wrote. Okay, I got to read this to you now, because I can't even believe you just said this. I'm like, I was thinking about Lucifer and the who's the father thing. And I was like, okay, this is just, it's making me crazy. I got to figure this out. So then I started seeing, okay, remember I told you I kept getting the immortals. Okay, mm-hmm. The immortals, Prometheus, the Titans, and Athena. I see alchemy was the key. Prometheus in the mythos was said to be the one who created humans. with the help of Athena. He was a titan or a giant or an immortal, a Nephilim. Some say that there was a reason for the flood, which was created by his father Zeus. Zeus didn't want us to live, but Prometheus did, and he went against his father's wishes. So he destroyed when the father destroyed everything with the flood. Athena and Prometheus, they were the ones who wanted to save humanity. So they created, Prometheus was said to have created us out of clay. And then he went to the center of the earth to get the celestial fire, which would be our divine immortal spark. And he placed that into the clay body. And then he said, with the help of his sister Athena embodied it with soul.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so if this is the Greek mythos, this would be the representation of the father. So I was going
I
into
agree.
it, like, and then when I was thinking about Prometheus wanted to save humanity. Now, whether or not we know that that wasn't allowed for a reason, I'm sure there was a good reason. Zeus might have known something we don't know. Who knows? But anyways, Prometheus wanted us to survive, and he wanted to have humans. So he recreated humans, and he brought us the fire, the celestial fire. That might be where Lucifer comes from.
Yeah, the bringer of the light
bearer,
bearer.
the
Yeah.
one who brings the celestial fire and gave it as a gift to humanity, the light bearer. And love and Venus, it's associated to the planet Venus. That's what Athena did. That was her part in the creation of us, with giving us soul. So that makes so much sense to me. So that's been wrapping around my brain for like 3 days now. I'm like, oh, I wonder if it's all about the gods of the Greek ages, and this is the Father, and this is the Jesus, and this is the Mary Magdalene. This is all of them.
You take that further back, and I mean, I'm sitting here and I can go, well, that sounds a lot like the story of Enlil and Enki and Inanna.
Yes.
And so if Enlil is God, which would be the representation of the Hebrew God, Yahweh, the Elohim. By the way, I had a preacher challenge me on this, and I said, all right, then tell me again, is Yahweh the Father? He couldn't admit to that. He didn't want to. He said, I refuse to answer the question. And I said my point. So then what if Enki is Lucifer?
No, I think that might be.
You know,
Prometheus is probably
Enki. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I think so. And Wayne, they know how to jump bodies.
So they do.
Why couldn't it be? They're immortals. They're immortals. They just need bodies, and they can jump into bodies. And I'm pretty sure that might be what's going on right now with this whole setting up the whole Starlink, because that'll be the way they can jump into the bodies. It's coming. I have it.
I don't talk, someone said, well, what do you really see for 23? And I said, I see for the world a lot of misery. There's going to be those of us, I'm just being candid. I just think it really is. But I am also, this is what I firmly believe, those of us who have advanced our learning, our craft, because, I was outside and it's been warm here. So I'm talking to the oak trees and I'm talking to the earth, laying your hands on it and just realizing that everything that I'm doing here, whether it's with incense, candles, herbs, is really connecting me to the mother goddess, Earth.
That's so funny, Wayne. That's why I bought the pink candle, and I was instructed to buy pure rose oil. So I'm going to put roses on this candle. And this is for me to, when I want to positively clear my space and send love into the world. And I wanted it to be the highest frequency. So I used a pink candle, and I'm going to anoint it with rose oil. And that's the symbol of love and beauty. And I want to spread that all over the world.
And that's, and I thought to myself at that moment that, if there's a form of worship, it would be in the form of gratitude and using those elements that are natural.
That's
fire, water,
magic.
It
Gratitude
is.
is the most beautiful magic I've ever seen. It's so wonderful.
It's
It's
it
so
is. It
wonderful.
is. It
It's
just
so it's wonderful.
Paul Joe
It's my
says, right
favorite.
on, Trina.
Oh,
uh
gratitude is my favorite one to work with. I love the attitude of gratitude. I think that's why my being is holds so much joy. I think it's
hmm
because of that gratitude. It's a powerful medicine. It's
Yeah,
such
yeah,
a
it is.
wonderful thing. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
grateful. Yeah, grateful.
Someone said, should the male reclaim the goddess? And I didn't get the rest of that, Joyce, but I think that that will be a change. If a male or female, I don't really care. I think there's just as many on both sides that have lost connection to the goddess, you know, the feminine. Um, there would be no place for conflict. We'd probably be
Mhm.
like our ancient ancestors. We would come to the fire, we would join hands, we would be barefoot,
Yeah.
and we would look unto the firmament to seek those answers, to seek that counsel. You can't do war when you're holding hands, in communion with the goddess. I mean, I just don't see how that's possible. But
I don't either. I don't either.
Gogo says, can Trina explain why is original name of Lucifer Hiel? He was a
Oh,
fallen
I don't know.
angel.
Yeah, that's a good
Gogo, I was
question. I
just saying,
don't know, but that
he
is a
was a
fallen
fallen
angel
angel.
name.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I said, I think these beings are immortal. Uh, they're immortal beings, and well, we are too. But they know how to jump into bodies because they have access to higher technology and stuff, and they're older, wiser, and when you don't lose your memory, they get to keep theirs. That's so not fair. So, anyways,
So
they
messed up.
yeah. Like, but they
Jeez.
know a lot. It's super lot. And I think these beings like Inky and them, these beings could be in bodies right in front of us right now, and we would never know because they're immortals.
I want to say something. I had this in my thoughts. So here's why judgment will never happen.
Mhm.
I just need to let and by the way, if hell exists, then it's an inside job, because if Satan is so opposed to God, Jehovah, why would he then become the holding prison cell of God's rejects? Satan is a creature of pride. He would never take what would be considered damaged or contaminated goods. So your argument of hell just blows up. But here's the other point. You see, why there can't be any judgment in this realm is this, and I don't care how bad you are, if you're a mass murderer. Listen, the God of the Bible is one of the biggest mass murderers. So, anything, if you happen to be a killer or whatever, and this is why. You can't judge an imperfect being for being perfect.
Mhm.
It's impossible. I drew this out in my dream. I dreamt this. I was traveling. I was on a whiteboard and I'm talking. I think I was talking to God. But
Mhm.
I said, and this is how it came to me. It was the plus and the minus. It was a circle that
Yeah.
represents imperfection.
Yes. As soon as
Well,
it got polarized,
yes.
divided, it
So the
created
next realm
perfection.
would be what we would call either plus plus or negative negative. Wouldn't even be that way. So my
No.
point is, it's impossible for me to be a perfect being in an imperfect realm, because in order for me to be perfect, I would become self-annihilated if I had injected myself into anything other than perfection. So for a judgment to take place, are you going to judge me because I'm imperfect? Well, that's just the point. I am imperfect. So anyway,
I think that this whole place is a trick.
it is a
Everything is
trick.
a trick.
It's
It,
it's
yeah,
it's messed up, man.
it is, and that's it. It's
Lady,
like they
ladies.
want to scare you with judgment and hell and all these things, Wayne. See, you don't think they exist. I absolutely do, because I know we create thought forms
Oh, I
to
have no
people
doubt.
believe in it. So
Yeah, I
no, they've
mean,
made that. They've made that real now. And it's like, oh, sucks for you. Bummer. Maybe you shouldn't have
well,
put so much energy into that whole stupid thing. Because what you think about, you bring about. What you think about and feel about, you will become, because you've matched vibration with it. So you got to
mhm.
be real careful what you let in your consciousness, and real careful what you let in your eyes. And you better guard the power of your imagination, because that creates 95%
Go.
of the world.
I'm going to answer your question in here. So you're a theologian. I have a challenge for him. He said they won't be punished because they weren't perfect, but because they refuse salvation. All right. So what is salvation then? Can we get real honest here, everybody? What the freak is salvation? The word in it is implying to save or to alter a situation.
The only thing I could see, Wayne, it must mean to save yourself.
It has to be,
because
you can't have salvation for an imperfect species. It doesn't exist. And if you're telling me a savior,
it'll
what you want me to be is an automaton
from the lie. You get out of the illusion, you break the lie, you save the deception and the lies. And obviously we're finding out more every day. This is so much bigger than we even thought. Wow.
Someone wrote to me once and said, well, what would you do when you die that if Jesus come up to it? Well, the first thing I'd have to say is that you're an imposter.
That's
you never existed.
Well, no, I think it's a reflection of a truth. It's a reflection of an original image that comes from nature. If it is,
it would have to. But the point is, what is it? What is the purpose of Jesus? Seriously, what is the purpose of Jesus? To save us, but to save us from what? If he was saving us for something, then he's a traitor to his own God. Because it was his God that created this. We didn't.
Because like I said, I didn't have a religious upbringing with that belief system, and it was never Jesus, it was the Lord. But what I was always being taught was about to go and figure out for myself, and don't fall into the traps of, he even told me not to go to church. So
yeah, I would agree with that.
Right. And then
he told
me, be careful for the Jesus trap. I'm like, what? What? Oh my God. I don't even know what to do with that. Isn't that you? No, apparently not. So we don't know. We don't know.
I have met a lot of spirit beings.
Too many imposters.
There's too many imposters. And, I go back to the times when I was, heavily into hallucinogenics. And of the 300 plus trips I've taken, I never met Jesus. I met a lot of interesting entities. Never did meet Jesus, although I would have liked to. I think it was cool. I was dating a girl at the time, and she was, as teenagers, the guilt thing, and she started freaking out because she did see Jesus. And, and immediately she just started freaking out, because she was peaking, she was tripping pretty heavy. But for her reality just sudden collapsed in.
It did.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Bye. Bye. Yeah. And see, I had it from my earliest memories. I didn't know what it was like not to. I couldn't understand why everybody else could, and I thought it was crazy. I didn't understand why.
They think we're crazy. That's just it, Trina.
I was like, what? And then he told me, don't tell people you can see me. He says it won't benefit you. It'll hurt you. And then I had to go to church, and then he told me more. He's like, I told you. I was like, now I'm starting to understand a little bit, but I'm 3, Wayne.
And someone was writing on here, Jesus just left Chicago.
I think for me,
he caught that New Orleans train.
I've turned that word, like I've changed the Christmas thing in my brain around to the light thing, and I'm changing the whole Jesus thing to he's us. He's us. And
I love the
us, Wayne. He is us. Pro me the us. It's the fire. It's the fire in you. Your eternal immortal spark. That's to me the Jesus, which would be Christos, the Christ. The
and that is an individual thing, but I think for an actually historical figure, someone asked, they said, well, what was the final nail in the proverbial coffin for you when you realized that this person could have never existed? And I said, there was never any physical proof. My wife brings this up all the time because I brought this up to her years ago, that there was not one single drawing, not one fresco, nothing. But what pulled it for me was Philo.
Yes.
Philo was in Jerusalem in 34, 35 AD.
Yeah. And never wrote a word.
Not a word.
No, that's what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying. There's so much, all that you say about that is so true. So
Yeah,
it's a
I mean,
conundrum. It
it
really is. It's
is.
a difficult thing. It is a
Yeah.
very difficult thing. But
Wow.
if there's any evidence, boy, they hid it and they don't ever want us to see it.
But see,
So
this is why I know magic works, Trina,
there is no proof.
because we've created this and we create these illusions. And I listen. I'm just an initiate in this. This is when I'm tired of talking about it. I want to start doing it for real in an area that everybody can see. And in the weeks to come, as the more the ingredients come, we're going to do this because either we're
Wait, every
imposters.
time you say this, I giggle inside because remember I told you party tricks are involved.
Yeah,
I That's what they meant. That it's
yeah.
you will show your power, you will prove the ability to do things that people think are hard to do, and we will teach people that it's easy.
Loretta, how you doing, darling? Got your emails. Well, this is what, Trina, I'm glad you brought this. It wasn't in our list. We didn't even have a list.
Yeah,
But it's like we just wing it on a hope and a prayer, right?
go
Joyce says Josephus' father would have not known Josephus. Yeah.
for it. Right.
But, here's what this is my goal. You see, individually, as I work, then I can add to the essence of this group. And there are some hardcore people. Deborah says she ordered her magic kit. Great, because we're going to actually know proof of magic. Someone says, "Hey, there's magic every day." But what I want to do, Trina, is to do something that the masters probably didn't have the opportunity, and that is for us to psychically connect when we're actually performing these spells.
Oh yeah, it's so much more powerful.
I think it is. I think that
Oh, I
it
know this.
it would
I
light
know
up,
it.
like,
Well, when I would
look
do
at
the
those guys.
when I was in school and we were doing stuff in groups, the healing
Mm-hmm.
power, the magical power of the healing was just magnified. I mean, like tenfold. It was powerful. And it was amazing too. Wayne, our heartbeats would a train.
Now I can see that.
We would.
Yeah.
We would completely a train and we would be in a circle. And when we wanted to focus healing energy on somebody, it was palatable. It was palatable. You could feel it. I mean, it was so powerful, so potent. You
Well,
know,
this brings me back to when I was
yeah,
in
you've
Taos, New
experienced it.
Mexico. Oh man, this has been some years back in 1971.
Yeah.
And I did, the vision quest in the sweat lodge.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, yeah. It's
Mhm.
interesting because as I'm looking back, it's there are tremendous healings that take place in those rituals. I mean,
That's why I
it's
wanted to learn. And
yeah,
that's why when I was at school and they're like, you have these gifts and these abilities, they're like,
yeah,
how do you hold this power? I was like, I don't know.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know. I
yeah.
have no idea. I couldn't, I don't know. I just
Hmm.
didn't. So this is real.
It
And
is
some
real.
people I think have done it before. So it's more organic in our bodies because like I said, my body knows these things. My consciousness took a while to catch up, but my body knew. It was weird. It was inside me, built in me.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting because the correlation, when I was did a lot of the crusades like with Kenneth Copeland and there were others, and when you would work the healing line, and the thing that I would observe were these two people, Kenneth or Gloria. The thing about Kenneth Copeland is that one of the things I recognize is that he's a powerful wizard.
For sure.
Very powerful wizard. Now
Yeah.
he would find that insulting, but it's the truth. Now I want to make my point here is that in these healing crusades, what I observed were a number of things, powerful magic here. There are spiritual entities because there is this war. The people that I saw who showed physical healings miraculously, every one of them were fully anticipating. They were expecting. They were
They
expecting
did
to
it.
receive
Yeah,
something.
they did it.
Yeah,
You
they
set
did
the
it.
stage and
Yep.
you brought in the potential and the frequency and the belief, but
Yep.
they chose, they did it. That's how powerful you are. Oh my gosh, you
Yeah.
choose it. Wow, it manifests and it starts in your spirit first.
Now, Oral Roberts, he was another powerful magician. The way that he would do it is that he would separate the sick, and then he would send in his people, and they would then begin to prepare them. And it's so odd because I look at it now as I practice magic here. It's the exact same
Same
formula.
thing.
Same
Yes,
formula.
same
Yeah.
thing.
Nothing
Exact
has
same
changed.
thing.
Yeah.
And Wayne, what it is it's so simple, and it's so simple. It's almost scary because it's so simple. All it is a belief.
Yeah, it
That's
is. That's all it is.
all it is.
You
It's all
know,
if you believe that, if you believe it's going to happen and you believe it,
do
there
you
is
think
no
really
no
one
doubt.
man, yeah, standing on a stage, walks down because he's told you he's anointed by God and
Yes,
that he has such power in
yes,
his hand that he can lay his hands on you and boom, he's going to either cast that devil out or you are going to be healed. And
yes,
then they invoke a name that is strictly made up, but yet it's no difference than us making an egregore called Jesus. This
yes.
Jesus has power now. Why? Because we imbued it with power of our
And
own.
see, that's the thing I keep hearing is, man, be careful. Don't just 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 go for God. Don't go for no deities, entities, because God is everything. God is happening. God is
Yeah.
everything happening, and it's a major happening. So if you want things to happen, don't give up on God. You go to God. But there is no, don't go to no beings. There's too much going on right now, guys. It's dangerous. You need to cut these ties off. If you're working with entities and stuff, I would be very, very, very cautious. They are not what they appear to be. And that is another part of seeing through the web of illusion. And it's when you really see
Musgrave
what I'm talking
Griffins,
about, it's going to ruin your reality. Get ready. Hold on. It's not a fun ride.
he says the ancient masters were intellectual shamans. I think that you're right. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like what we're doing, Wayne. Same thing.
Yeah, and
Asking questions,
it's
helping people get to a belief so they can change and heal.
you
It's
know, and that's the one of the things when they brought in this new reality of separating us is that when they and it's still prevalent in our culture now is that people that are just now getting back to where, you know, young lovers or older lovers, you know, go out and hold hands. And there's a reason because if you understand the exchange of energy by holding of hands, what I find somewhat sad is the fact that we don't have gatherings where we used to in the 70s where you know we would have these love-ins, you know, where we would make these circles and you would put people in the center of the circle that was needing something, you know, and it was very powerful. And then it carried forth again for nearly 50 years of my life in, you know, the cult of Christianity. But it taught me now to today where I'm using these same giftings, it's just a different motif. I'm in I have my altar set up over here, but you know what? That's no different than when I used to walk into a building called a church.
the same.
It's the same thing, you know. It's the same thing.
It's the same.
And if you and I and Mary and if we went in and had our own little sermon ceremony, then
Powerful.
the powerful would be between the three of us. And
Absolutely.
if six
Oh,
joined us, you know, kind of like
right. Exponential. It's so
exponential, yeah,
powerful.
like
So
the
powerful.
gathering. I
Yes.
think we're going to be successful on the next one. Yeah,
Oh, I do too. And
yeah,
it's going to be so wonderful. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
yeah.
Breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. Wow.
By the way, you know, the word disease means divided peace.
Yes, and dis-ease. There's
That's what
no
it
ease.
means, divided
Yes,
peace.
divided peace.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely true.
Shows you how important peace is.
You know what? Because
There'll be peace in the
to
valley.
manifest, you have to start from nothing. And
Yeah,
that's the point. That's 0 point energy. So that's why I said, for me to find that place so quickly, I get into an attitude of gratitude, and then I can
yeah.
go, and then I can go still, and then I can manifest whatever I put into that stillness. That's a powerful point of expression and creation right there. So that's the zero, Wayne. That's the O. That's that circle
I
again.
love that. We got to
Everything.
get Julianne on. She's in. Julianne.
Hi,
Jules
Julianne.
from Australia, which I guess is about what, freaking 5 o'clock in the morning. Jules, love to
Oh,
have
I
you
love you,
on.
Julie. I love you. And I got her book
Belanca.
right behind me. I love that
In
book.
fact, I just put her book up in my bookshelf. So yeah,
Wayne, I grabbed it the other night and I was reading it till like 2 a.m. in the morning. And I was just
yeah,
giggling and laughing and just
yeah.
dying over her brilliance. I was like, your mind is so much like mine. And I just love you so much. And I love the way she breaks down words because I do that too. But I love it because we don't do it the same.
No,
It's
no.
thing. And
She
I
says
love,
manifest is man, I feast.
yes, man, I
I
feast.
love
That's
that. I
right. I'm
like
bringing
that.
it all in, baby.
Yeah. I love this. This is such an enlightening group. It just
Oh, it is.
amazes me, you know.
She's such wisdom in her book. It's so
Mm.
beautiful. I love it. I could read it a million times and never get tired of it. Thank you,
We
Julianne.
have some
You're
beautiful,
such a-
beautiful spirit beings in here.
Oh,
You know, each of
I'm
you have been on
honored.
your own
Honored.
journey, your own mission, but it's a privilege and an honor to have y'all.
Oh,
I mean,
oh.
it's to me, it's just heaven on earth, whatever heaven
Closest I can
is.
get to it
Yeah.
is with you all.
Yeah, and you know, we're learning in here. I mean, you know, the thing about it, you see, and Jules says, you know, I love that. Thank you all for your gifts and talents and joys in all ways. That's,
That's
you know, we're a family. This family has had arguments. This family has had, spiffs and what have you, but we all come back. And by the way, any word on Al or David
yes.
Perry?
They're okay. They're both okay.
Okay.
I mean, they're gonna have it's a mess. I don't know when they'll be back to work. Of course, the truck is not drivable, and yeah, but everybody is physically okay, so it's okay. And David's gonna have to figure out what's going on, so that'll be an issue too.
Yeah. Well, we just project to them peace and
And healing, and may the
yeah,
new
yeah,
life
they're
take you
they're
exactly where it's supposed to,
yeah.
in abundant joy and love.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe that this will turn out to their good. I really
I do
do.
too.
You know,
It always does, Wayne.
yeah. That which is meant to harm us shall be yet that which prospers us.
Right.
You know,
Obstacles are opportunities for growth. It's okay.
it is, and it is. And, you know, I look at 2022, and I mean, it was a year of some great, great losses, but it was also a year of great, great recompense and
Expansion. Yeah.
rewards. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
remembering
Mm.
and truth coming out. And people are waking up to things that they never knew were existing, and they're starting to get a little clue. So
Hmm.
much is changing. People are waking up in different ways and different levels at different times. And but it's all good. And yeah, there's many there. It's the bifurcations big time. It's definitely
Yeah.
happening. I can feel it.
Yeah, and I don't understand these things, it's that book I think was out back, decades ago. Why does bad things happen to good people or something like that? And it's yeah. You could get into a whole thing about it, but
Yeah.
it's about our two friends, and this is part of their journey. What we're here to do is help support them in that. And we can do that by just simply giving them thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And just healing
yeah,
joy.
yeah,
So heal
yeah.
the situation and may it follow with joy. Whatever it is,
Hmm.
however it comes, let you be the driver of your manifestation of that joy. But we send you joy and
Yeah.
clear direction. Yeah.
Yes. Mary Wynn says, decode your reality, decode Christmas. If oh, I see. It was mind blowing. Well, Mary, we'll have to tell me about that. Oh, and Deborah said she was given $5 silver yesterday. That's pretty good where silver is going.
Oh,
I mean, it's heading
wonderful.
for a pretty good price. Yeah,
Right
it
on.
works. It's this using the
Wow.
craft, and I call it the craft, spells, whatever, but using gold and silver, that's some that's some serious stuff.
Rain, you're connecting to the sun and the moon, the
Mm,
two polar vortexes of creation in this realm.
mm.
Sun, moon,
Well,
positive, negative, Torah field, whole world. Boom.
mm.
In your hand.
Says, I like it. I want some more of it.
I like it. I
I
love it.
like it.
I
I
want some
like it. I
more of
want
it.
some more of it. Uh-huh. Yeah, we can still groove. We still got the
Yeah.
moves. Uh-huh. Yeah.
And we shall
John
rise
Travolta,
above
I
it.
can
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
now I got Saturday night fever in my head, you know. Ha, 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 staying alive. By the way, you know that song, Staying Alive. Lynn used to do CPR classes, and that's the
Yeah.
song that they
Yeah.
use. Yeah.
Uh,
Ha,
uh,
ha,
uh.
ha,
We did
staying
too.
alive.
That's how I learned it. Yeah.
There you go. That's all
Yeah.
I got to say. Thank you, Deborah
Yeah.
Sloan, dear.
Yeah.
We all right. Well, Miss Trina, this has been fun. Thank you,
It's so
dear. It's always
fast.
just a blast. It really
It is
is, you know.
fast. I'm like, is it already? I hate that.
Yeah, it's 101. Yeah, it's like, geez, you know, do the shaky and move it all.
Yeah, move it all around. Do the
I
hokey
love
pokey.
that.
Step
Sean says, yeah, how deep is your love? I like that. I can hear it.
along.
Uh, Paul Joe says, silver has been on my mind lately. Yes, yes. I actually bought some incense that is gold and silver incense,
Yeah, and that's like I said,
metallic.
that's the
Yeah,
solar power and the
yeah,
lunar power, and those are the powers that guide your physical existence. So
yeah.
that's a powerful connection point. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
masculine and feminine also, you're divinely marrying those two parts of self, because I see the sun is here and I see the moon is here. So the moon controls the monkey mind too. The sun controls more of the solar and the heart stuff too. So pay attention to that.
Don't let the sun go down. Oh, there we go.
Right.
All right, everybody. Much love. Someone delete that. Just put that person right out of their
Bye now.
existence, you know.
Bye-bye.
Again, moderators, just delete the guy and
Love you,
say out of
Marquise.
here.
Thank you.
Exactly. The one who's posting that, you are not going to enjoy what comes next. Y'all just here, I'll do it. I'll do it. To heck with this.
Oh, right on. Get away.
Yeah, I'm just
Get
going to hide them all together here.
This,
And that's how we do that here.
that's how we do it.
You
No,
see, you don't have the credentials to come up against me.
no.
You're gonna lose every time. And I've got in it these type of energies, they'll feed off of you.
They will.
They
No,
will.
they don't
And
understand
if I
that.
let them loose on you,
Right,
oh man, you're
right.
gonna feel like you just walked into a big old nest of chiggers. That's all I
Yep,
got to tell you.
yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and you just got to do that with people like that. Just amazes me. Just
Yeah.
lot of darkness here, girl. A lot of
You
darkness.
know, because you're always going to have perfect polarity when you're bringing in bright light. The
Oh
darkest
yeah,
of the
yeah.
dark is going to come in to try to stop that. So
And
yeah,
that's exactly
whatever.
why.
Yeah, whatever. It's
Sean
okay. And
says,
I know
hand them
that,
their asses.
you know
Exactly,
what,
we
too?
will.
Yeah,
Hmm?
and I noticed too, a lot of people on our kind of, wavelength of trying to find truth and figure things out on our own, they're all getting really brutally attacked right now too. So we're not alone. So
Well, y'all come on in here. We're going to be doing some spells when people like that kind of energy,
yeah,
it just, yeah.
I
All
like to
right. And besides
be
that,
involved.
I don't like the fact that anyone who writes those type of message, it's disrespectful
I
for
throw it in the
the
fire, Wayne.
feminine.
I
Good.
throw it in the fire. Throw it in
Yeah,
the fire.
yeah,
Yeah, throw it
yeah.
in the fire. It
That's all I
purifies and
gotta
it
say.
cleans it, you know? Oh,
Yeah.
don't bring that filth in my field. I'm gonna burn that up and fix it because the fire cleans.
Yeah,
Fire
then we're going to use
fire.
the potash and we're going to make things grow. So there you go.
Oh, right on.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, wow. Like really right on. I like that. Oh,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
that's
mm-hmm.
powerful,
Yeah,
Wayne.
yeah, yeah. We'll smoke them and then we're going to plant them. All right, everybody. Much love to you, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.